Pam, 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 hovory z LAN. Možná to jednou bude znělka. A možná taky ne. Tak jako tak, vítej u podcastu Hovory z LAN. Na další podcast jsme odchytili švýcarskou leskyni Ninou Caprez, jednu z nejlepších vícedelkových leskyň posledních let. Vyrůstala v Retikonu a má za sebou přelezy velkých stěn do obtížnosti francouzského 8C. Nina v létě dorazila na teplický festiák jakožto hlavní host. Oproti většině festiákových hvězd ale do Česka přijela s celou rodinou už měsíc dopředu, aby trochu vyzkoušela, o čem je naše lezení na písku. Jak se jí tady líbilo a co všechno vylezla? Těsně před odjezdem z Česka se jí ptal Standa Mitáč.
So, Nina, this is your last day in Aderspach. How do you feel? How about your muscles? How about your body?
I feel sad to leave. My body feels actually really good. Mm-hmm. I have some scars in my hands from all the jamming and crack climbing, but I really liked it. Aderspach, Elbe Valley. It was such a unique experience. I really got into the climbing style. I really liked this mixture of the adventure and a little bit of fear and excitement, and yeah, I'm really sad to leave.
You arrived maybe 1 month ago.
Exactly 1 month ago, yeah.
Yeah, nice. You started climbing in your first day was in Elbe Valley. Mm-hmm. You were climbing at Velká Bašta. Kruh za kruhem was the first route so far, I remember. Yeah. How was it? How was the first expression?
I found it quite, how do you say, in Labáku. We really started with some modern climbing, some, just like a little bit high exposed bolts, but not like too crazy. And then step by step we got introduced into crack climbing and traditional climbing. So I think we had a really good evolution on the safe side of the climbing. And Labáku offered all types of climbing, and I think the variety over there and also the way you could protect yourself was kind of, I wouldn't say easy, but it was good to learn. Mm-hmm. And then we came here to Aderspach, and Aderspach is hard. Like it's those cracks are really hard to protect, and it's very pure, and there's like no cheating and like no face climbing and nothing. So it's I think we had a very positive and logical evolution in the climbing on sandstone.
And what was your favorite route? In the first part of the trip in Elbe Sandstones, for example.
I think my favorite route was on the right bank, the very, 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 very long 7A. Mm-hmm. The one from the cover. Yeah. And then just to its left, there was like a 7B plus and like...
Zákaz kouření you climbed. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like following the cracks.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that was really one of my favorites.
How was it? Did you send it on site or?
Not on site. I did it on first go. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then on the left bank, we climbed this...
Biorhythmus was the warm-up?
Yes, exactly.
How was it, the warm-up?
It wasn't the warm-up, it was the product of my day. I like that one, but I think the most pure experience I had was on the crack you sent me in. Mm-hmm. That was to
Postrach Labáku.
Yeah, that was, I think, the purest experience of the crack climbing I had here in Elbe. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How did you feel? How were the slings? What do you think?
I'm super self-confident. I always think my protections are super solid, but luckily I'm a strong climber, so I don't fall too much. Mm-hmm. But I felt somehow safe. Mm-hmm. Versus here in Aderspach, I got afraid because it was so hard to place gear, any gear, and anything came out, and so I struggled a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Yeah, versus Albali, I was like, that's okay. That looks like a good protection. Yeah, anyways. So over there, and then also we had a second day of climbing in the left bank where we climbed.
In the Anka you climbed the Arad, and then you said you climbed Bestseller, maybe? The sport, the modern route?
Exactly.
How was it? Did you send this one on site?
Yeah. No, not on site. Also, third try actually.
Third try.
Yeah, third try. Mm-hmm. Send this. That was cool. It was a good effort. Mm-hmm. Yeah. really impressive, like how solid those holes were. But then there's another tread route, a 7-8 tread route or so. I don't remember the name. I think I posted a picture on it from Jeremy, like on an orange rock crack.
Maybe Supové Mexica, maybe?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I think those one were like the highlights, I would say. And then Falkenfluh was Falkenstein was more very impressive because I felt like climbing on a piece of history. It was the first time where we really got humbled by, you know, like those cracks and like, yeah, it was hard.
Your first route there was Sydris Direct from Bernd Arnold, the direct version of the very old Oliver Paris Smith's line.
Yeah.
And then you climbed Renger Gedächtnisweg, the cracks, and Direkte Westkante.
Yeah.
But how did you manage, by the way, how did you manage to climb, because you are mother of 2 kids, how this is possible?
It's always a struggle. That's actually getting better. But, you know, I try to breastfeed as long as I can. And so it's always a struggle because you can't just set up a top rope and like make easy top ropes. You often finish on a tower, so it's shortly it gets into like a 2-hour mission, and it's always a little bit like gambling with the breastfeeding. But you know, compared to the beginning of the trip and now, Dune is more eating like real food, so it's getting easier. And also when I left climbing without her, you know, she stayed at the truck and I pumped some milk, so she had some milk there. But yeah, for sure, when she was on the ground, it was always like, okay, I breastfeed now, then I have 1.5 an hour, and then I have to go back. And yeah.
So have you managed to climb to the top of Falkenstein, or?
No, Falkenstein, we never made it to the top. Yeah, it was just, you know, it was also like, I think we were pretty intimidated by Falkenstein. We were not so used to climb like those high towers and like multi-pitch and how to wrap down. I had the impression Falkenstein feels like 5 months ago. It was a long time ago, and we did not have so many experience. In Adersbach, we really got into like climbing towers, and now we feel very comfortable with it, and like you know, the upside down and all this stuff. Yeah, at the beginning was, you know, just like the mindset really had to change, and it took us a while to get into it. And also my climbing partners, I mean, Jeremy and also the Nico and Maya, the other family we were traveling with, it really took us a while to get into it. And so at the beginning, we were all super intimidated, and we had all those gear, and we didn't know how to place it, and it was all new. And now, yeah, at the end, we really felt more, you know, we knew how to do it.
So you said you are like, you got into it right now, these days, you are leaving, but on the other hand, are there any project, any lines that you would maybe keep for the future?
Yeah, I just did 1 day of like off-fit and like large crack climbing. That's a thing I would love to do more. But I also have to say that I think I would need to climb on UFOs. Seriously. Because I did one really beautiful line, it's called the Whale here. And I had 2 UFOs, and I really have to say that was very intelligent. It was also a little bit humid, and it's just so hard here when you have splitters, just like parallel cracks. It's so hard to protect with the nuts. And yeah, so I felt nice to climb on, to have like 2 UFOs and to you know, to put them in. I also climbed just 1 chimney, like a proper chimney. So yeah, I hadn't had enough time to explore this more. I think I would, you know, I mean, now we have to move, but I would love to have just like 2 or 3 more days on just like this pure Adersbach style, off-wit and chimney style. But it's okay. I mean, I'll come back for it.
Yeah, and how did you enjoy the festival? Can you compare it to the other festivals that you have visited during your life? How was it in Teplice?
So I was here 10 years ago, and already back then I told myself, this is one of the best thing. I only climbed 2 days, one in Adlersbach and one in Teplice, and then I visited Prague. But I felt like, wow, this is really something else. But my trip was too short to really to dive into like the Czech people and to discover the culture. And this time, I mean, we already spent 2 weeks in Labáku, 1 week of traveling, and then we spent the total 2 weeks here. So I think we met a lot of people on the way. But after all, I also realized that the core climbing community is very small. There's just like a small circle of Czech people really into like climbing on sandstone. And so they all showed up, at the cliff, or then we saw each other at the festival, or they gave us some advice, and it is all kind of connected. So you really feel in a community. And seriously, the festival is it is by far the best I've been to.
Really?
Because it is an experience. It's not just I come, I have a slideshow, and then I leave. It's like, it's in such a unique place, and the people are just like crazy because they are so proud of what they have here that they really want to offer the best experience, That comes from taking you to parties, making everything right, that you have the good presentation. I got gifted every day got a present, but really like hand-made, presents. And the climbers were just awesome because they really, nobody was sandbagging us because we had nothing to prove. They have nothing to prove. They just wanted to show us the best of what it is. And sometimes, they pushed us, and sometimes it was hard, and sometimes it was easy, but it was always just the right portion of like, yeah, you could do it, you should try it. So it's, how do you say, they were really well...
Motivating or... No.
Bienveillant. Like a family, they really wanted to take care of you. Yes.
Accept you between...
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you remember what have you climbed in Teplice? Did you try the tsunami, the famous area?
Yeah, the very first day we climbed just at the
entrance.
Yes, the entrance there. So we climbed with Danny. We climbed the goulash, the arete.
Here, Cikánský guláš.
Yeah, it's
in Adlersbach.
Okay, that was on my first day, and we did some easy warm-ups, some really small towers. That was the first day, and then in Teplice we climbed Tsunami.
Tsunami, yeah.
So we warmed up on the Martinswall, some really cool like long 6E, and like I did another 7B plus, really high exposure, but all on rings. And then I checked out Tsunami with Danny, and then.
How was it? How did it feel for you?
Really hard. Yeah. Seriously, it was like a serious. That's by far the hardest I climbed for like a long time. Yeah, it is a serious
French
project.
Great. Would you?
I think it's like a really solid 8A.
I think so.
Yeah. And it was intimidating. It was tricky to climb. It was very also condition depending. It was a long route, like a really long journey. I had a really good mindset, and I actually climbed it when I had almost like a sleepless night because. With the kids, you have often like kind of sleepless nights. And Danny wanted to try it really early in the morning. So we had meeting at 6:30 in the morning in the park. So my first warm up was like at 7:30, to really, I checked it out again, and he too. And then at like 9, I sent the route, and he did it just afterwards. So it was cool with Danny. We created a really good camaraderie, and we had, he waited for some routes to climb it with me. So we could just check it out together. So that was in Teplice. Yeah.
So did you send the route? Just the tsunami you sent?
Yeah.
Second try also?
Third try. Yeah.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, and one day we set up the quick draws, and they were filming.
Okay.
And it was hard to get up the rope. It was really hard, tricky to figure out the upper part. And so I just did that one. And then I had a rest day or two. No, one rest day. And then with Danny, we went really early. Nice. So one of each, we did another really proper workout. And then we sent both on like the first.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that was in Teplice. And then we came back to Adlersbach, and we wanted to climb some towers. So we were around the Lovers, and we did the whale.
Yes, you mentioned already.
Yeah. Yep. And then we did a really easy tower somewhere in the region of in the zone there. We saw it from yesterday, And then the festival is there, so I was fully working.
Yeah.
And then I got food poison, so I was sick for 2 days.
You think it was from food?
Yes, definitely. Food or just some bacteria was around. There were so many people, you know. And yesterday we had a really good finishing with the girls climbing some large cracks.
Yeah, can you describe this day, please, a little bit?
So Lynn Hill, my friend, so Lynn and I were really good friends, and she was coming for a presentation in Poland, in Labáku, for the festival. And so she was writing, like, hey, Nina, you should also come to the festival, because she knew I was here. And so I told her, hey, Lynn, just come earlier so we can climb together. So she flew in a little bit earlier. And so she arrived, and then we were this cool crew of girls, and, you know, with Miska and Anna, and Jeremy also wanted to climb. And so we just picked up the cool tower to climb and to shoot. And then Miska had this crazy idea of, like, climbing parallel in 3 really famous cracks.
Yeah.
So we took advantage of, like, those girls, you know, the locals just being super fast and on lead, and then we top roped all of them. So that was cool. So we topped out on the tower. And
were you more scared on top rope than while leading?
No, top rope is, you know, it's no scary effect. But I was happy because it was my first off-it. I haven't climbed off-it since like 5 years, I would say. So it's, you know, it's always...
I mean, it's not so common for you to climb top rope. So sometimes it's like doesn't make sense. But when you are top roping, you don't climb very well, and you are a bit scared.
No, but in off-it, it's good to just to get back into technique. It's kind of hard when you're like super scared and you don't remember how to do it. So it's good to have one on top rope. That's totally fine.
And the last route of the day?
Yeah, and then the last route, we climbed the tower, the Korone.
Štěpánská koruna.
Yeah, Štěpánská koruna. So same, it was an adventure. A little bit humid, the crack in the bottom, so I bailed and I was scared. And the photographer saved my life.
Nice to have one.
Yes. But then, you know, we were again 2 parties, and it is an adventure, and everyone is struggling, you know, somewhere else. And but then you finish on tower, and it was just like the sunrise.
And how was it being in like Little Big Wall with Lynn Hill again? What was the last time when you were together in a Big Wall?
So Big Wall was back in 2019, but we teamed up a couple of times since. I mean, I meet Lynn almost once a year.
I mean, in multi-pitch, let's say.
Yes. Multi-pitch was, it wasn't this spring, but...
2 years ago.
Yeah, maybe 2 years ago. Yeah, because she's really into multi-pitch, and I always have ideas, and we like the experience being on a wall. So it felt, you know, like the little commandos you give when you're like, off play, ready to go, you know, or I always call her my partner. So, you know, just, you know, some memories showed up, and I like her. It's great to be with her on the wall. She's super relaxed, and you know, she's knowing what she's doing. So that was good. I mean, everyone is, you know, when Lynn is here, everyone wants to be around her because her aura is just magic, and I think she has a very positive vibe and a very positive energy. So it's always a good thing to team up with her, and just to feel that since we climbed 2 times the nose together, like we spent so much time in that route, climbing wise, we were really connected. And so we just meet somewhere, and then we go, and she's really sure that I offer a good experience, you know, because I know her really well now, and she's not willing to take any risk anymore, but she's really willing into, you know, having this experience. And so, yeah, I think she trusts me, and she's always up for some ideas.
Was she like a hero for you when you were like in your 20s, or?
Not at all, actually. Not at all. No, I really grew up like far off from like climbing history and all this stuff. So maybe the person I knew most was Wolfgang Gülich, because he lives, you know, he's like a German legend. But beside that, no, I mean, of course she was famous, but it wasn't like, wow, she's really my idol.
No posters in your room?
No posters, yeah. And that's also why I think we're just friends, so good friends, because there's no admiration, there's just respect, mutual respect, and we're both women, and now I'm also a mother, and I think that really changed our relationship. Since I'm a mother, we're still more connected than before.
What do you think were the biggest lessons that you've learned here?
The climbing is always a learning, you know, and every day you learn. And I think what I like here in particular is like, it's a little bit have feelings that I felt when I started climbing, when I grew up climbing in the Ratikon, where you really have to judge, like, do I risk my life or not? And where's the border? But to push, but not like being too stupid, right? And I really like that that measuring of like, can I go? Can't I? Can I take a fall? Is it allowed? Is it not allowed? And just to have this like self-confidence when you know when you lean from one tower to the other, or you do a little jump from one tower to the other, or you're standing on top of the tower and you're not like, you know, you don't have a rope anymore. So I think it's just like this way of like making a wall your home, feeling safe, you know, just like climbing around and like jumping around and leaning around, you know what I mean? It's like an enormous playground. And so it felt like the climbing community here is not really about like grades and like hard climbing. It's more like they challenge each other, but also there's a lot of like helping each other because nobody wants to die and nobody wants to see your partner dying, and nobody would send you in a route which is super dangerous, like, let's see what she's doing. It's like, no, she will die or he will die or whatever, you know. There's no bolt, so you can't really like take falls everywhere. And so that's really what marked our trip here. Like people are, as you told me in Labáku, right? What route can I recommend? Because if I recommend a route and then you make something wrong,
you feel responsible.
Yeah, you feel responsible, right? But then it's also, but if I recommend this route, I also trust this person, you know? And I think it's like this kind of like, yes, I recommend, I trust you because I watch you climbing, I know you have skills, or I know you have a good mindset, so you will be able to do it. And then you somehow offer an experience where it's just, you know, this borderline of like, you challenge this person, but you don't send him to death, right? And so I think this is also, when you, like the local guide, as you were for us, or other people were here for me, it's like, it's also satisfying when you see them having like a really good experience. And there's no presence, you know, you really have to fight on every route. It's always challenging, mentally or physically. It's nothing like, you know, auto route, boo, 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 boo. That doesn't exist here. It's always challenging. And this is why it makes the experience so great.
How would you feel if your daughters fell in love with sandstone climbing here?
Go for it. Go for it. I maybe buy some UFOs, but no, I mean, seriously, like, you know, in the days of today, we have so many gyms and like plastic climbers, and everyone makes, you know, everyone wants to go to the outdoors and make it all super safe and super, how do you say, controlled and like super, you know. Some cliffs in France, you have like a line and there's every bolt, like every 40 centimeters, just to make it like the most safest ever, you know, but there's no more logical line or like, it's just because then people can climb outdoors and they make sure that there's no accident, right? And so here it's like all the opposite, like you have the lines and you respect how the first ones, they climbed it, and you really, it's a mutual respect towards nature, towards the culture, towards the people. They climbed it like years and years and decades ago, right? And so it's this, you know, it's why here there's still a community and not just like a, how do you say, you know, a gym climbing experience where you just go for the money or go for a grade or go for a color, you know. Here you can't climb the black one or the blue one. It's like here you climb this crack and here you go to the tower. And so, yeah, so I feel very, how do you say, grateful that I had the chance to dive deep into this community and the experience, that I was able to do it with my family. It is definitely like the best playground for my kids and for, you know, for my family and for the family we were traveling with. And yeah, just walking around this beautiful forest is an experience, right?